So apparently we have a portion of Gervonta Davis haters, Hector Luis Garcia fans, that are claiming that this fight was rigged, and it was set up for Gervonta Davis to stop Hector Garcia in the fashion that he did. Let's send out our blessings. Blessed love and blessed day, oh boxing world, boxing nation, fighting world, fighting nation. It's Coach Fire and this is real life boxing. Before we get into the video, best double jab straight down the pipe with the left hook behind it. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified when all new content is being uploaded on the channel of Real Life Boxing. Now let's get into the video. Hector Luis Garcia obviously was stopped the other night by Gervonta Tank Davis. The fight broke records in the arena. Sold out, broke records, highest attendance, and whatnot. Hector Luis Garcia was making a very good account of himself, taking the fight down into the 9th round where it was ultimately ended. But let me ask everybody a question. Is there anyone who thought that this fight wasn't going to go the way it did? Is there anyone that thought that Gervonta Davis wasn't going to win by knockout mid to late rounds? That was my prediction. That was my fight prediction. And I told people this fight is going to go just like most of Tank's fight goes. You know what I'm saying? Just like the Rolly fight. Rolly was able to give Tank Davis some problems. Now, Hector Luis Garcia, he gave Tank Davis a little bit of problems. You know what I'm saying? Hector Luis Garcia is an Olympian, is a world champion at the 130-pound division. He upset Chris Colbert. A lot of people thought that he was going to lose that fight. He upset Chris Colbert. Did some great work in that fight. Was just a step faster than Chris Colbert. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful counter punches. And he was just a step ahead of him. Did great work. Came back and thumped Gutierrez. All right? So he's a real deal. You know what I'm saying? He's the real deal. He can fight. You know what I'm saying? He can fight. Styles make fights. So if you know Tank's fighting style and you were aware of Hector Luis Garcia's fighting style, then you kind of put 2 and 2 together, and you know that the fight was going to go someone like this, especially with Hector Luis Garcia not having the most power, you know what I'm saying, the most pop in his punches. He likes to control the pocket, you know what I'm saying, with subtle half steps back, controlling the distance, you know what I'm saying. And I knew that once Tank was able to enter the pocket and do what he does best, I knew it was going to be time for Hector Luis Garcia, to say, that's enough. But a fight ensued during the fight, a fight inside of the fight, a fight in the crowd ensued. And at most boxing fights on this level, most of the fights that we watch on TV, there's always fights in the crowd. Let me tell you, when you go to a boxing match or an MMA fight or something like that on this magnitude, the energy inside the building, most of the time the energy is good, but more than half of the crowd in there, they think they're fighters. Some of them are fighters. Of course, there are fighters in there, top level fighters, club fighters. There's fighters on every level, inside of a boxing arena when there's a fight. But there's all types of other people in there. And a lot of times the other people who aren't necessarily fighters, inside the fight, they're fighters. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody, when you go to a boxing match, the energy in there is like everybody is a fighter. Everybody's on edge. Some people go there just to enjoy the fight, but some people go there, they're on edge. They're looking for fights. So there was a fight that ensued inside the crowd between Meek Mills and Gary Russell Jr. and his brothers. Gary Anton Russell, not Mr. Gary Russell, the other one, but they're all brothers, so whatever have you. The fight was so, and I don't even necessarily think there were any punches thrown. They say that Meek Mills slapped Gary Russell Jr.'s phone out of his hand. Don't know how true it is, but Meek Mills apparently came at Gary Russell and them for talking against Tank. You know what I'm saying? And Meek Mills, the fuck you and Tank, So they get into it. It was so much action in the crowd that it literally caused both fighters to stop and look into the crowd, Tank and Hector Garcia, to the point where the referee actually stopped the action inside. Now, this is the first time, besides the shit like the fan man, the guy who came in on the helicopter during Riddick Bowe and the Evander Holyfield. Besides something like that, this is the first time I've ever seen a fight stopped because of a fight in the crowd. With that being said, immediately when the fight resumed, Tank went on a tear. It's kind of like just like Terrence Crawford. Immediately after they checked his gloves and they said the round was going to go on, he went out there and he knocked out David Avanesyan. So same thing like this. Immediately after the fight ensued, Tank just went on an absolute tear, and I believe that's the round in which Hector Luis Garcia didn't come out of his corner. It was either that round or the next round. But anyway, immediately after the fight took place, Tank just closed the show. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people are saying that was the, that was the sign for, the fight to be ended. That was the sign for Hector Luis Garcia to quit. That was the sign for Tank Davis to turn it up, whatever have you. You're looking at the fight and you're noticing how good Hector Garcia is fighting. So then you start to get that nervousness inside. You start to get that anxiety inside of you, like, yo, Hector might beat Tank. You know what I'm saying? Hector might catch Tank with some shit. So then you start to think, man, Tank might lose this fight. And then, whoops, all of a sudden, Tank turns it on, hits Hector Luis Garcia with some shit, and makes Hector Luis Garcia quit on his stool. So, was the fight fixed or rigged? I don't think so. In my opinion, no, it was not. I think that this fight went exactly how I thought that it was gonna go, and how most people thought that it was gonna go. Besides the Gervonta Davis, real haters and detractors, you know what I'm saying, and the Hector Luis Garcia man fans, you know what I'm saying. So I don't think that this fight was rigged. I don't think that there was any special effects that went into it. I thought that the fight went exactly how I thought it was gonna go. Well, it did go exactly how I thought it was gonna go, and I thought it was a good fight. You know what I'm saying? Entertaining. I expected Hector Luis Garcia to do his thing, to be able to touch Tank. He countered beautifully to the body all throughout the fight. Not all throughout the fight, but when the fight started to heat up, when they both started to really touch each other and let their hands go, he was doing some good body work countering. But no, I don't think that the fight was rigged in any way. I think that the fight went exactly how it went and how it was gonna go. But you guys tell me in the comment section below what y'all think. And until then, you already know. Keep fighting your fight and protect yourself at all times. Peace and one love. It's Coach Fire. This is Real Life Boxing.